Yes, it is Hard Facts, and we're live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itamian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. This is Hard Facts. I'm Mariana Cohn. Still with me is Dr. David Masanga, who is joining us live from London as we talk about the politics of aid and, of course, the role that our leaders are playing as African leaders. Why the continent has remained underdeveloped, even with the wealth that it has underneath it. We're still going a borrowing, like my guest said, cap in hand, every single day. The big question is, what has to give? What is it that we must do to come back into our pride of place? Are we thousands of miles away from that place, or are we very close? Anyway, before we went on the break, my guest was going to talk about the role of the African Union and maybe the ECOWAS. Dr. David, thank you so much for staying with us. Quickly, there's so many things that the AU could do in addressing, for example, the leadership problems that we have across the continent. And of course, the fact that we have so much underneath us, but yet we're very poor people. But then the bigger question is, who's the AU? These are the same leaders that you and I are complaining of. Who's going to say, well, you need to do right? And who's going to say, well, are you doing right? Because, really, who's going to be the one to speak up first?
Thank you very much, fellow Africans listening to us on the globe across the world. AU is there by letters. AU. It is not the OAU that the founding fathers formed. It has been captured by France.
Sorry, how do you mean it's been captured by France? France is not an African country. Why would it capture the African Union?
Do you know why?
Why?
It pays. He who pays the piper. AU doesn't have its own money. None of the Secretary Generals who are put there has ever looked for ways of bringing money, our own African money. We rely on donations from this poor country called France in Europe, which has been looting our minerals in Africa, then sell them, then give us donation. You talk of ECOWAS. If France, can ECOWAS make a decision of its own? You have a building in Abuja, but it is empty. It is not, it's funded by France. AU is funded by external funders. 3/4 of the money that makes that building, even the building itself was built by China. What do we have? We are just rented. We are rented commodities. We have rented ourselves to international agencies. The AU that we used to have was the AU of Gaddafi, was the AU of Mugabe. They would talk and they say enough is enough. If I go poor, let me die poor. But don't insult Africans. This current AU is captured. The French have captured AU for the last 8 years. A gentleman by name Mahamat Faki, who comes from Chad, he tall 6.1 feet, useless. He never did anything, even to find something for African Union. More conflicts multiplied on the continent. Libya is divided into two. You call it AU. Are you listening?
I am.
France has taken one part of Libya, eating every day, siphoning the oil from Libya, giving General Khalifa Haftar arms, which kill people in the Sahel region.
And these are not allegations that you cannot prove.
They are not allegations. This is true. Don't you know that Libya is divided into two? There's a government in Benghazi and a government in Tripoli. Don't you know that Morocco has occupied Western Sahara? Don't you have in Lagos Sahawaris refugees? They are there. They have been chased out of their country, and Morocco has come to sit in their country. We call it AU. We readmitted them. They said there are more whites than black people like you and me. They want to join the European Union. We have called them back. We have a war in Sudan. Hey, you, listen, I'm naming for you slowly. Ask one AU political affairs department headed by a Nigerian by name Ambassador Bankole. Has Bankole ever flown into Khartoum since the war began? No, not even one day to try to climb a plane. At least Matanga has tried to go to Geneva to persuade the two generals to come on table. Sudan is burning, divided. RSF versus SF. Somalia, we have been battling. Now Egypt has arrived in Somalia. Instead of AU making a policy to pacify Somalia, give the powers back to Somalis, we are creating bases. Egypt has come, created a base. We Ugandans went there first. We are lucky, we are happy. If they allowed us, we would have killed all these terrorists into Indian Ocean. They said, don't. We should have finished them. Ugandan troops, we don't joke. We would have taken them out. But they said, don't, human rights. Now, every country that is coming into Somalia is doing what? Creating a base. Egypt now has come, created a base. Are we going to Somalia to liberate Somalia, or we have gone to create bases? Democratic Republic of Congo. Let me, this one, then you ask, look at the mess in Congo. Until this mad guy across the Atlantic, I don't know whether he's normal, Mr. Trump, he decides to call two leaders, come here, the president of the United States of America. The people selected him, so I'll give him the credit that he was elected by people, although he talks very badly about we Africans. Let me tell you, I don't need a visa to go to US. It is not worth it for me. Let me go tell you the truth. He came to Congo, hijacked the process, and they said, AU was watching. Then AU writes a message, oh, we thank you very much for helping us. Qatar grabs a process, an African process, goes to Qatar to meet people. AU said, thank you very much for helping us. Are we women? I'm not saying women are lower. Are we supposed to be beggars of other people?
So you've painted a very grim. Sorry, doctor, you've painted a very grim picture, and I'm just literally sorting through this because, like you, I have continuously talked about all of the crises across the African continent, especially the DRC and Sudan. But the picture that you're painting doesn't, to the average African who's listening, seem like there's uhuru anytime soon. So what do we need to do now in the interim? Because our leaders are the ones who have the powers to change the course of things. Or does the power lie with us? What do we need to do to get our leaders to begin to look within?
Change the AU charter from a non-biting institution to a biting institution. If you have democratically subjected people and beaten people, don't attend AU. A country like Nigeria should not be in the AU.
Why?
Because you are full of bandits, terrorists, what? They are there. Terrorists are killing you. Fulani jihadists are coming, killing. My sister, you brought me here to tell the truth. Are you really a country? You should not be in AU at all. You don't observe human rights. You detain people. You kill people. You are murdering people. You are abducting people. Boko Haram has taken all the younger girls. Wait, all the younger girls to where? Boko Haram has taken. Why? You don't deserve, you should have been suspended from AU and the Commonwealth. You should not sit on any group that talks of human rights. But he's still there. And it works. Mr. Tinubu comes and is welcome. The president of Nigeria is making a speech. Which speech? He's going to UN to address empty tables. Are you addressing people? Now, let me tell you, we should have suspended some countries out of AU. Let's change AU to a biting institution, not a patronage.
How many countries are going to be left if we really are looking at the fact of it? How many countries are going to be left because if we look around us, we all seem to be breaking the law one way or another.
Let me tell you, even if we remain one and the organization remains with principle, it's better.
Okay.
The only country that will remain, South Africa will remain. Yes. Ghana will remain. Senegal will remain. Liberia will remain. Let's go. Can I count more?
Let me. I need to go to the phone lines because of time. We're almost running out of time, and I want to bring people into this conversation. By the way, if you're just joining us, this is Hard Facts. Dr. David Masanga is with us. Of course, we're talking about the politics of aid and, of course, why Africa needs to look within. Join the conversation. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. You could join us if you're listening from outside of the country. You want to call in via WhatsApp. It's 08095975805. If you're calling from outside of the country, you need to put the +234 before you're able to call us. The phone lines are open. Let's go straight to the point. 60 seconds, please. Hello.
Hello, Miriam.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Godman.
Godman, you need to turn off your radio, please.
Done, please. Oh, hello, can you hear me now?
Ahead.
Okay, so as we can see, this borrowing is like slavery. The borrower is a slave to the lender. Now, I want to say, because at the end of the day, this is going to affect we, the people, not this government. The government officials, they'll just embezzle this whole money that they borrow most of the time. And when they are gone, it's the people that have to pay for these things they've done. So what I want to ask is, what does he think? How can the people move the leaders to see to it that this borrowing stops? Because we know it's going to be affecting us more than them at the end of the day. So what can the people do to bring the leaders to the place where we say no to that? All
right. So, Doctor, did you hear his question?
No, I did not hear. Unfortunately, he had the radio on.
Okay, so he's asking that, of course, obviously, like, as you stated, that this borrowing, we're going to be paying our children's children. How do the people move the leaders to begin to do something about this excessive borrowing? What do the people need to do?
Do what you did to SARS. You remember when you came down? Nigerian youth, stand up and get these corrupt guys out. You know, Nigeria is a problem. It is the first country in Africa. If you cough, the whole cough catches Africa. I don't know whether you know that. If you cough, and we rely on you because you are the biggest population, God gave you a chance of producing more people. But you are misusing us. You have let us down. I think there is a curse of Captain Lugard who put you together. You are killing each other. Captain Lugard, wherever you are in the grave, stand up and remove this curse from this nation. Everything wrong in Nigeria. Everything wrong. Electricity is not there. People complain every day. You put on TV, there is complaint. How? Just get the right leaders. I was there for your elections. I was shocked. Out of 94 million voters registered, 94 million, only 26 came to vote. So 68 went to Atlantic Ocean, underground, and hid, and they came back.
I want to take some more calls, Doctor. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Marianne. What an evening. What a guest you have. Hot-headed, fiery. Congratulations there, Marianne. Always do good. Now, I want to ask your guest, in as much as we can be fiery, we can be revolutionary among the Pan-Africanists, but among the population, the young people, there seems to be that hatred, mutual hatred between Ugandans, Africans, South Africans, Nigerians. They don't seem to agree, because if we must unite, it must come from these young people, not the old people. Thank you.
All right, Maduka, thank you very much for calling. Doctor, I don't know if you heard him, but let me explain what he said. He's saying that for young Africans, he perceives that there seems to be a hatred. There's no unity amongst young Africans, Nigerians versus South Africans versus Ghanaians. There's that hatred. And he's saying if we must go forward, we must unite. How do we, break that barrier?
Exactly. I agree with the caller. If you go to South Africans hate Nigerians like Satan. When they see them at the airport, they want to kill them. They actually kill them. They have formed groups to kill some Nigerians, as if Nigerians are not Africans. Morocco. If you are black like you and me in Morocco, the Morocco police stops you, and you must have your passport and where you are heading. Otherwise, it will beat you very, very nicely, and you break your legs before you travel. So, the type of things we have in Africa are very embarrassing. You need to. Nigerians are hated in South Africa. They even have formed a group that goes to look for Nigerians. They have, profiled Nigeria as a state. Nigeria needs to go back and rearrange itself and form a group, and come out as a country leading Africa with a population of 250 million. Maybe in 20 years you will be 300 million people. You're a big nation. You have a lot of resources. You have 241 waterfalls. Why don't you first preach the unity that our founding fathers have? Baba Tafawa Balewa, the Ghana, Nkrumah, the people who had before Aronzi knocked on the door. General Aronzi knocked on the door and brought a military coup. Obasanjo also came in, Muhammad, all this. Babangida, Obasanjo is my friend, but I always tell him that even if you try to be a Democrat, you have never been. Because you go through a government. And therefore, I don't recognize you as a Democrat. Anybody who picks up a gun to come and overthrow, then turns around to say, I am a Democrat. No. I don't believe in his policy.
Okay.
But he is a good guy. Look, there was some semblance of unity of purpose. But that unity of purpose at the formation of OAU has disappeared completely with Nyerere. It went with Nkrumah. It went with Obote. It went with Jomo Kenyatta. It has disappeared with Amir Cabral. Everybody who is in power now in Africa can't unite. We can't unite. Even the youth are looking at us. We can't unite. Ourselves, when we meet in London, you first ask, where do you come from? Instead of saying, this is my black brother, they say, where do you come from? When you say, I'm from Nigeria, then they go further to ask, which part of Nigeria? Are you from Yoruba or Biafra? If you are Igbo, then you can smile. If you are Yoruba, say, let me come back quickly. These are the differences that we have exported that are amongst us. The truth is, our leaders have not united Africa at all. We have left our youth in this area.
All right, let me take another quick call because we're almost out of time. Let me take this call. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon, good evening, Miriam.
Yes.
I'm sure Nigeria should be taken into the ICU right now. Very, very, very. In truth, Jonathan is my name. The most shameful part of it, he has said it. In this era of our life, Nigeria cannot boast of power. It cannot boast of power. And you know what other thing that is paining me, Miriam? Even the God-given wealth that Nigeria gave us, which is crude. That we are supposed to use Richard. Somebody was talking to Chebi this morning. I was just ashamed of this country. Even the crude that God gave us, we cannot on our own in this era go and tap from it. We need to wait for one IOC. At the end of the day, we'll not say take 60%, take 40%. At the end of the day, your people are poor. What else do you want to hear? We have heard it from this visitor. Now. Is this a visitor talking to us? I think they should take Nigeria on a stretcher and take him to ICU right now and do an operation. Very, very sad and very painful thoughts we are hearing this evening.
All right.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, Jonathan is saying that Nigeria needs to be taken on a stretcher into the ICU because we need to be worked on. But, Doctor, before I let you go, because I have just one more minute, the last time Nigerians tried to protest, it was an end hunger protest. There was the presumption that we were trying to unseat the president. And so many people have resigned to fate, really. In 47 seconds, what is the message of hope that you have for Nigerians and Africans in general?
Thank you very much. First of all, I want all the students and the people, millions watching and listening to me, to take this quote home. Nigeria is a country without a country, a state without a state. Those who have studied, can I repeat that nicely? Is a country without a country, a state without a state. In political science, it means there is no governance at all. It is each man, each other. That's it, the summary of a state, a country without a country, a state without a state. It means everybody does what he feels for his stomach. There is nothing being done for the generation to come. We have lost it. 2, Nigeria needs to rearrange itself. I agree with the last speaker who says we are on a stretcher. It is not a stretcher. You are in ICU, intensive care unit. You need to be taken down. Nigeria needs to be rearranged. And the high time Tinubu rearranged Nigeria, allowed people to rearrange themselves. You cannot be a big country with so many bad manners of this nature.
I want to say thank you, Dr. David Masanga, for joining us live on Hard Facts. I wish we had more time to talk about a lot of other issues, but of course we will have time in the future to have this conversation. Thank you once again for coming on the show, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you for calling me, and always come to Uganda to eat more matoke.
I will.
There is plenty for us, and for us Ugandans.
We've got to go. We've got to go, Doctor. Thank you.
Just unforgettable.
That stew you made last week. I have been thinking about it every day.
Or why your taste buds can't forget Victoria's Crunchy Chicken.
Bestie, please tell me you made fried chicken today.